what has been your best trade position in terms of absolute returns, and what has been worst, most painful, and any lesson from each? A lot of lessons from worst trades and best trades, but because of compliance and our own internal rules, I cannot talk about publicly stuff that we've been involved in or stuff that we're looking at. Unlike every other content person that talks about their trades or what they're involved in, we don't do that for a lot of obvious and non-obvious reasons. We talk about process, we try to make you better, we talk about self-development. You can get ideas from other people, but I can talk about some of the lessons without talking specifics. Having too big a position size. Okay, it's crazy how concentrated guys are running at right now. Um, at valuations, by the way, that make no sense, or with business fundamentals that don't uh, uh, that should not engender the kind of the kind of position sizes that people are running at. So being too big is usually mistake number one that we've made. Second is not really understanding the risks in an idea. Have you made a list of the type of risks that you have? So, for example, do you know what key man risk is? Okay. Who is the key man in the business that you're investing in? What if something were to happen to him? How about competition risks? Okay. Who are the competitors? And is there a risk to the moat? Is the moat being breached? How about customer concentration risks? Right? There's a business that just went down literally 70% last week. If you looked at for that reason, they lost a customer that was a very, very large part of their revenue and their profits. By the way, customer concentration shorts are some of the best shorts out there. Uh, um, Earnings print. Okay, you're long, you have a big position. The print is about to happen. Okay, it's a risk. You know, your stock could be down 30, 40%. Okay, are you comfortable taking those risks? Uh, okay, these are very important types of risks to actually understand. And when you're risk managing, a lot of times our mistakes came from not understanding one of these risks. But there are other types of risk. One of them is, there's mistakes of commission, meaning you did something and you fucked up. But there's mistakes of omission where you didn't do that thing. Okay, you have to kind of understand that. By the way, most hedge fund compensation structures actually don't reward successes of omission or failures of commission, and you kind of have to think about how to do that. Averaging down or averaging up. For years, we messed up averaging down. For years until we really learned how to do it. Do you know how to average down? Do you know how to average up? Right? These are very important lessons that you can have. Look, there are others. Being too involved with management. One of the biggest mistakes that we've seen other people make is because they're very close with management and they've done well with management over time where they've made money. Sorry, I don't know which way the camera's picking me up. Actually, let me look. Well, it's on lag. Uh, as they make money, they get close with management. Management a bit has a halo effect around them, and then the fundamentals turn, right? And when it turns, they go to management and they say, "Well, we think the fundamentals are turning. What should we do?" And the management, look, step back. No father ever thinks his daughter's unattractive, okay? No mother thinks their son is unattractive. Okay, so no CEO ever is going to shit talk his own company, right? But because you're close to the CEO, you listen to him and you average down and the fundamentals gap down. and now you're facing a massive mark-to-market loss, if not an absolute dollar loss. So sometimes being close to management. By the way, one of our requirements is actually for us, part of our process is we're not required to meet with management. It's not that I'm prone to it. On the contrary, if I have access, I'm able to do it. But it's not a requirement for us because I grew up at a time when I didn't have access to management, so I had to succeed despite that. And we've kept that, whereas we've seen a lot of people actually lose money because they're too close to a CEO. It can be a risk, especially if you call the CEO by his first name and everybody knows who you're talking about. Okay. And if that happens, it's not an investment you're in, it's a cult. So be careful.